not because you're imagining what he could be. What Ben Simmons does good or has done well in his career so far are exactly the things that the Nets are missing. Sam, does Ben Simmons play in the versus the Celtics and win?
Yeah, I think he's definitely playing. Like at this point, I'd be shocked if he doesn't play. And to everything Kool-Aid said, I honestly think that's like the best way if you're going to do like a math equation of like what the Nets say versus like what ends up happening. Like, I mean, this dude. I mean, Woj released the report the last time before the back flared up that he was about to play in Orlando. Meanwhile, if you looked at like everything Nash was saying before that, it was like, oh yeah, we'll see. Like there was no social media showing him doing anything. Like I mean, it just clear to me that like whatever is going on behind the scenes is he's far more advanced than that. Like I don't know. I think I wouldn't be surprised at this point if he's playing game one because it just that just seems to be the way a lot of this is going. It seems like the Nets and Celtics are both being coy about the injury statuses of their guys.
Why though? Why? It, you heard you guys in our group chat know my theory. Why all of the secrecy? What's your theory?
I mean, I agree with you, and I've been look since he got traded. I've been I've been on the bandwagon that everything about this smells fishy. It's weird that he's not playing. It's weird that the way the back flared up, the way it did, it went from like it's stiff, and Nash was saying it's nothing to you need like an epidural. Like there hasn't been any common sense or rationality behind anything that we've heard, which is why I don't really think we know the whole story. And if you told me that it had something to do with Clutch wanting money and they're trying to make a case, like I would honestly believe it. I have no idea. I think his back did legitimately hurt because I don't think you don't play somebody, especially when you're on the when they were on the verge of not making even the play in. I don't think you don't play somebody because of money and I don't think KD would allow that. But I do think there's been some chicanery going on in the background. That's for sure.
It's it's $20 million. They filed an
Hey,
arbitration and they're gonna fight for that money. Uh
So Eve, I just got a text.
oh, hit me. What happened?
This is totally unrelated, but this is how much Nets basketball is going on in my life. I just got a text from my brother, who's a bit of a prick, big Steve Nash hater, and all the text read was that any objective individual with any sense of a brain would know that the Nets can't win with Steve Nash.
He better apologize if we do. Uh, no, it's been a lot of Nets coaches, and if he pulls it off, he gets credit. But back to what we were talking about. So I'm the only one that is kind of doubtful on this Ben thing, but I'm hyped about it, so I'm gonna just go with the flow. Let's get your predictions and wrap this up. Kool Aid, newest member of Pod Thorn. Tell me, how does the series go? When does it end? And just describe why the series goes the way you're predicting.
Okay. I got Nets in six. The reason why I have Nets in six, I believe in the series doesn't start until a road team actually wins a game. I think the Nets can go in there and steal game one, um, or at least win one of them, but they also can win both of them. And I think going home 1-1 or up 2-zip, and then you get Ben Simmons back, it brings a different bravado and swagger to this team and confidence. And now they go for the kill shot. You'd rather get it over with because I think by them finishing it faster, Milwaukee, even though people think that's going to be a sweep, I think that's going to be a 6 game series. So you want to get some rest. to be ready for them. And I think, like we all been talking, if our offense shows up and we play even what we play now at the 11th rate defense, we get them out of there in four.
You said 4. I I had to say,
I didn't mean a sweep. I didn't mean a sweep. I realized that after I muted myself. I didn't mean. I'm just saying like the 6 and 6, we get them out of there. I think that we'll win one in Boston, if not two, and then we'll come home and protect home, and then they might win one in that next one in Boston, which is 5. And I think Game 6 we win at home.
all right, duly noted, duly noted. Bam, how does the series go? And give me a prediction.
It's a tough call. I mean, I think if we win it, we have to win it in 6. I don't think we're winning a Game 7 on their floor. I'm not confident. I don't like the way the team has played. Even over the last 5-6 wins, it just has not been pretty. It's not a good brand of basketball. We've just been out talenting teams. I mean, there's so many variables with Williams and Simmons, and do these guys come back? And if they do, when? So it's really a tough one to predict. It's a cop-out. I'm going to say Nets in 6 or Boston in 7. And if there's a gun to my head, I would say Boston wins the series.
I don't like you, man. I don't like you at all.
Somebody first up. The team has not played well. This Boston team is 26 and 6 in their last 32. I mean, we have not played good basketball. It's a sloppy team. They foul a lot. They don't rebound well. I don't think they're well coached. And I think we could definitely win. I'm not ruling us out. Like I said, there's so many variables here. What if Simmons comes back and Williams doesn't? That's a huge swing. I definitely think like the first game is the one you want to get. It kind of sets the tone for the series. So that game is huge, but I just don't have a good feeling about this Nets team. It's been that kind of season, and I feel like we're headed for a long off season.
Duly noted. Duly noted. Sam, same thing.
So I've gone through like every single scenario in my head for this, and similar to Bam, like I think like trying to judge this team is next to impossible because they've blown out some of the best teams, and they've lost and or played at the level of some of the worst teams who are fighting for the first pick in the draft. I think that if you think that they're more like, if you're going to say that they're not that team that's playing to the lower competition, and that they're really the team that, and we didn't mention this earlier, that lost to the Celtics by 6 in Boston when Tatum had 55, then I kind of feel like you have to take the Nets in the series, because if not, then they're just not that good of a team. Which is why I know Bam said Nets in 6 or Boston in 7. I almost feel like if the Nets are as good as we kind of think they can be, and they will be, and they actually show it, then I think like Nets in 6 or like could be conservative for all we know. But if the team is actually playing the way it's played, then I wouldn't be surprised if it's Boston in 5, because there have been games where the Nets have looked absolutely horrible and play a terrible brand of basketball. So I'm trying to toe the line, but the issue is that with the Nets, it's always like black or white. There's no gray with this team. And so that's what I think is hard about judging them. But I'm gonna lean in and just think that like Katie and Kyrie just don't really give a shit about the regular season. A lot of times when you're on a basketball floor, like it's a top down thing, and when someone like KD, for example, who was as locked in as he was on defense yesterday, I think we've seen him earlier in the year not give a shit about defense, and I think that stuff's contagious. And if you think that they're going to be that locked in, then I think they're that good. But it's hard. You just don't know what Nets team is showing up.
I appreciate you, Sam.
We need a prediction though, Sam.
I was gonna end out with you still haven't made a prediction.
I'm gonna go Nets in 6 because that's what I think. Like I'm gonna lean that they're actually good and that they're not actually this shit team that lost to the Trailblazers when the big three were all playing. Like I can't imagine that that's actually the team, that they really are just going through the motions a lot of time. But so that's why I'm going Nets in 6. What about you, Yves?
I don't remember exactly what week it was, but it was like right before a game. Kyrie Irving had a Herkai pop-up shop. Has any one of you guys purchased a Herkai walking stick from the Herkai collection that Kyrie just dropped?
Negative.
Anyway,
No way.
I'm gonna make my prediction, and then I'll explain why. The Nets are gonna beat these dudes in 5. It's gonna sound crazy but I'm gonna start it off just for effect. The James Johnson situation taught me that the Nets are a big picture team. They're able to look at the big picture, try different stuff, and they never move in desperation. It is frustrating as hell because it looks like they're not trying. It looks like they don't care. But I think this organization sat around a boardroom table and said, you know what? It might be better if we just take it light. If we just figure out who's who and who we're gonna need for the playoffs. They found out and they gave him plenty of room to hang himself. But they found out that James Johnson was not gonna be necessary going forward. That it was going to, if you're playing just by going by just who was playing well, you're gonna have to play Kessler in the playoffs. Even though he had a horrible first game, but that's what you should expect a rookie to do. I think this team is a big picture, and the results are gonna say it. I wouldn't be glad, but I'll happily adjust my opinion based off of the results. But I think the results are going to be that we show that we're a dominant team, that we're just a step above these dudes. And it doesn't have anything to do with Robert Williams. If Robert Williams was here, I might give him 6 games. The Nets are supposed to beat this team by 5. The Nets are who they are supposed to be. They was waiting for these moments. They were waiting for the playoffs. And now you're gonna see a team that's just different. And it's because of everybody. It's because of Sean Marks. It's because of Kevin Durant. It's because of Kyrie Irving. It's because of they basically created a formula that works for them, that is crazy, that looks crazy, and the results are gonna let us know if I'm right. But I think because they're moving as one organization, as one group of people going for this championship. Maybe that's what I believe because I'm biased that I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan, but I really do. And I see little signs of it. Anyway, Mr. Kool-Aid, why don't you let the people know where they can find you and your proper Twitter address and all them things there.
Oh yeah, wow. I can find me on Twitter. I believe my handle is BK Nets Forever. Yeah, I'm around. Yeah, I ain't gotta find me on nowhere else.
Yo, you brought in another excellent point, which I forgot to even mention, but the other reason why I think we could win in 5 too, and it's really just a point that you just brought up, but I was thinking the same thing.